Welcome back to TSN's Motorcycle Experience. It's time now for our second cruiser impression. And this week we throw a leg over Suzuki's Vl1500 Intruder. According to the brochure, it's long, low, and massive. You heard right. That's how Suzuki promoted their big twin Intruder back when it was first introduced in 1998. At the heart of this beast is a long-stroke, 3-valve per cylinder, air and oil-cooled V-twin. Linked to a 5-speed transmission through its hydraulic clutch, this Intruder delivers more torque, at low RPM mind you, than any other Suzuki motorcycle in history, through a shaft final drive. For today's impression, we once again asked Dave Fox and Catherine Perrin to don their rain suits to find out what life is like with a welcome Intruder.
I spent more time on this one than the other bike we were riding today, and I really like this bike. I think it's got tons of power. It is long, low, and massive. There's no question about that. But I didn't find it to be overwhelmingly large. I found it a manageable size. I think it would be a great bike for just taking down the road and cruising along. And it's got the torque and the power to get you where you're going just as fast as you want. And I didn't find it to be as big as it looked. Once you get on it, you get it up and get it rolling. It's a nice bike. It's easy to manage, and overall, I enjoyed it. I liked it.
I would agree. I found it visually intimidating, but I found very quickly, I found out that it wasn't. When I had to jump on it and start riding it without a lot of practice, I found I could get into it quite easily, and I found it fairly comfortable. Not only the fact that your feet are on the ground, but I found the handlebars on this particular model happened to come in a bit more, so for me I wasn't reaching as much as I had to.
Yeah, it's definitely not a difficult reach to the bars. They sort of come back and reach back for you. So then one of the nicer features is the adjustable levers. Both the clutch and the brake lever are adjustable, so you can adjust how close the lever is to the bar. So for people who have a little bit shorter hand, it's quite easy. Just takes a second to adjust that so it can be closer to the bar for you. So if you don't have a bigger reach, it's easily adjustable.
I found lots of torque there, and nice throaty sound to it, quiet. I just really enjoyed the fact that even in third and fourth gear, you had some pickup there when you wanted to catch up with someone or to pass a vehicle. I found when it was sitting still and idling, there's a reasonable amount of vibration in the handlebars and the mirror area, which is what you look for sometimes, especially that Harley look. However, when you were riding, I didn't sense that vibrating in my hands, even though I didn't ride for a long time. I didn't find the vibrations to bother me as far as the comfort level.
It's got tons of power. It's got lots. I especially noticed the pickup shifting just from first to second gear. I found it really, sort of rocks you, because you're not ready for the amount of power that does come on if you're used to a motorcycle that doesn't have the same kind of motor behind it. So I found it quite impressive. It's got loads of power, and I found it less vibraty, less of a high frequency vibration that you might notice during normal road riding. Less so than the other bike that we rode today. I found that the transmission, it's got a nice smooth shift. I didn't have any difficulty, didn't hit any false neutrals, anything like that. I found it shift quite smoothly. Again, it's got the heel-toe shifter, which gives you the option of using the heel instead of lifting up with your toe, which is kind of fun to try. It's something I guess you get used to. And some people prefer it, I guess. Clutch has got a nice light feel. I didn't feel too fatigued. Mind you, we didn't do a lot of riding in traffic, but because you can adjust the distance that the lever is from the bar, I can imagine that it wouldn't be a heavy clutch to pull in.
As far as the brakes, they were quite firm, and they were responsive, and even in the wet road conditions we had today, there was no squeaking going on. They worked fine that way too.
Well, the nice thing about those brake pedals, they've got a real positive feel, when your foot's on it, and it's easy to judge how much pressure you're putting on it. I never had any problem at all with locking up the rear brake at all. it's just got such a big positive feel having that big pedal under your foot. It's like, well, I won't say it, but kind of like driving a car, I guess. But
that's exactly what I was thinking, Catherine, but I didn't want to say it either.
I know, you don't want to say the C word.
I do like that tank look, as we mentioned on the other bike, but you're right, Catherine. I think with this gauge being a little bit more raised off the tank possibly, I found I didn't have to take my eyes off the road as much as I did with the other one to look down at the gauge. So that I found that maybe as a good safety feature in the fact that your eyes can still be on the road and still see the gauge. And it's nicely laid out. It's very simple, and of course, I found the indicator lights and things are a little stronger here, so they do show up a little more easily. As I said about the Yamaha, I like chrome, and there's lots of it on here too, for sure. In fact, I even like the looks here with the center of this coming down all the way to the seat with all of the chrome piece in the center of the tank. And the pinstriping is neat. It's very rich looking and very classy. It's not tacky looking at all. Nice lines to it all the way through the fenders, and certainly keeps the road dirt off you. With the low fenders like that, we got lots of road dirt, but it was only at the knees. It was not in the back.
I liked it because I like the big cruiser. I like the big motor. I enjoyed riding. I had the opportunity to ride at the Valkyrie last year quite a bit, and I enjoy that, the big power. And with the cruiser styling, you really don't feel the weight like you would expect to with a huge displacement motor. So I really enjoyed it overall.
I think all it needs is a windshield because of the weather conditions today. You really notice that, and that's no fault of the bike whatsoever. Once again, I'd be more interested to try it for a little longer distance in more pleasant weather to really get the feel for it, because in the very short time I rode it, it was fun. There's no question about it. Because again, as I said, the looks are intimidating, but not when you get on it. I found it really comfortable to ride and really lots of fun to ride.